Hey everyone, today I'm going to be making another card using another stencil. I'm going to be starting with a piece of Coordinations 110-pound cardstock, and I'm just going to score this and fold it so that it's a top folding card. And I wanted to use the thick cardstock because I'm going to be inking it with distressed ink and a stencil. So I'm going to start by masking off the top of the card because I don't want any ink on the back side. I'm just using some washi tape that I only use pretty much for masking stuff off. I have this texture weave stencil from Memory Box, and I'm just going to use some more of that washi tape to adhere that down. And then I have the distress ink. This is the peacock feathers. And I'm just going to start applying this from top to bottom. The top part is going to be darker, and then it's going to fade down to a really light teal color or turquoise. So you just want to be careful when you're especially using this stencil because those little waves are very thin and they move very easily. So you just want to be careful when you're applying the ink down. And when I'm done, I'm just going to take off my stencil and my masking and then just crease it one more time. And then that'll be the card base. So now I have the stamp set from the Sweet Stamp Shop. These adorable little hedgehogs. And I'm just going to stamp these. I'm also stamping them, all the images onto the Coordinations 110-pound cardstock. This is because I'm going to be using Copics to color it in, and you just want a really heavy cardstock when you're coloring so that your colors don't bleed out. So I'm stamping both of the hedgehogs, and then I'm also going to stamp the little top hat and the bow. And then the last thing I'm going to stamp is the speech bubble that's also in the same set. And then I'm also using the Tuxedo Black Memento ink to stamp all of these images. And then I'm going to take another Sweet Stamp Shop stamp set. This one is called Monogram It. And I really like the font that the sentiments are in, so I'm just going to use the Hello font and stamp that right in the center of the speech bubble. Alright, so then I'm gonna get my Copic markers out because I'm gonna color in those images with my Copics. I just heat embossed it, or not heat embossed it, I just heated them a little bit so that the ink set for when I'm coloring it so that it doesn't bleed. So I'm starting with the E23 Copic marker, and I'm just coloring all of the fur, I guess, or the quills on the hedgehogs. I'm just going to color that in completely. And the marker that I used right before this was the 0 because I got a little bit outside the lines. It just pushes the color back in. Kind of like an eraser, I guess you could call it. I use it a lot just because sometimes my marker goes outside the lines. And then I'm going to take the next darkest color, this is the E25, and just shade along the outside edge. And then go back in with my E23 and blend both of those colors together. And then I'll go ahead and do the exact same thing in the same colors on the other hedgehog. Now you could go in and do a little bit more shading if you want, but I just like doing some simple coloring. So then for the face, And the body of the hedgehog, I'm using a lighter E. This is E11. I'm just going to color in the whole thing. And then I'll take my next darkest color, which is E13. And use that for the hands. And then for the bow, I'm going to use RV11. And then also add some of the RV13 in there. And then blend both those together with the RV11 again. For the top hat, I'm going to use C3 and then C5. And then to kind of match the teal color at the top, I'm going to use BG23. So now I'll just go ahead and fussy cut all of these images out. And as you can tell, for both the hedgehogs and the speech bubble, I left a little white border around the edge. But for the top hat and the bow, I cut those right to the black line. So I'll just use a little bit of adhesive to adhere the top hat and the bow to each hedgehog. And then I'm going to use some 3D foam squares to attach them to the card base. These are the small squares from Best Creation. You get like 1,000,000 of them on a sheet and they're really cheap. I'll have the links to all the products below if you're interested in any of them. And I'm going to use the same foam squares to adhere the speech bubble down. Alright, and then I'm going to take some natural twine from Mayarts. This is my favorite twine. It just goes with anything because it's the natural color, so you can use it on pretty much any card. And I'm just going to go ahead and tie it into a bow. And you can see how close it is to the speech bubble when I'm doing it. But I end up actually moving it all the way, not all the way, just slightly below the top of the card. I thought it looked a little bit better and it kind of helped tie in the colors. And then one last touch on the card, I'm just adding the clear wink of Stella to the turquoise part of the hat and the pink bow. So that is my finished card. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so that you can get all my latest videos. We'll see you next time. Bye!